Let's do it with golf. Second game of Async League playoff action coming up. First one went pretty well. Spencer was on the table that time, but he's joining me to commentate this one. Spencer, one of my good pals, IRL, and on from the Discord, so this is going to be a treat. I look forward to being able to commentate with you and furthermore commentate over.
All right, guys, you're good to start.
Heck yeah, no, same here. We have spent the last 3 async playoffs, you, GHOULS, and I, messaging each other while the others have played, or on the phone while the others have played, and just to be able to capture some of these moments, super excited.
Yeah, absolutely. We got like GHOULS with his water deck based around my low tick. My low tick is allowing him to play a super creative build. The Milo tick lets you get a card from the discard pile when you evolve it from your hand. You play the Devo Spray and Scoop Up Net to really make a lot of mileage out of that card. He's playing 6 water energies, but notably all 3 of the search item cards for them. So you got the bucket, the vessel, and the letter. And that combined with the Rizu is going to allow him to find some really explosive turn 2 plays.
Yeah,
it looks like he just attached and passed to the Sobble though. I see Goose Mahalo from Spooky over here.
Yeah, this could be a quick one. We'll see.
Absolutely. I think he just needs to fan Rotom. I see the Floatstone. I didn't quite see what else happened. I seen him make like a hand gesture of some sort.
Yeah, I believe it was the Hex Maniac Floatstone. It's getting Jet Energy, Artisan, checking for a tool. About back to GHOULS' deck. Lee, I think you named it Milo Pump, right?
Oh man,
yeah, I did.
Just like the game 1, guys, right there.
Yeah, quick game 1 right there.
Yeah, Ghoulies with the hand extension. What a fella.
Yeah. Fan Rotom, one of the premier cards still in the format. Super strong, allowing you to set up and even hit for that magic 70 and even more. You have also the powerful energy and the muscle band to work with. One Spooky's case, he plays the hot band instead, but you can hit for 90 turn 1 going second Rotom in any economy. That's really good. So most GHOULS would love to find more than one Pokemon going on his first turn next time.
Yeah, definitely gonna like to go second this game and get some things going, get a supporter down. GHOULS' water deck does not play the Baxcalibur. He elects to play the Frostmoth. He plays like cards like Raihan, Reversal Energy, other ways to get Milotic to recycle those resources over playing that stage 2 line. It's definitely been really strong in testing. Obviously, you can't choose the way the cards fall every time, but I think we're up for a good game here, though. GHOULS knows he can't lose or his tournament streak is over with. So definitely going to be using his big brain and putting together plays that, like you and I say, only GHOULS can see. So
yeah, absolutely. He's going to get a mulligan to help himself out here. I would assume he's going second this game also. So we'll see. We'll see where that takes us. Who's that in the active set?
Manaphy and Rangaroo.
Rangaroo, Manaphy. Okay. Shout out to GHOULS too. I see that Lee Hoffman sports card front and center to the to my
left. Man, and just a draw pass from the Cookie side this time.
Yeah, and I don't think GhoULS play if he can get 3 on the wishy-washy, but I do not foresee that happening. I think GhoULS.
Yeah, I don't think so.
We know how GhoULS is. GhoULS is just going to take this as an opportunity to really set up his board and get his guys online. Yeah.
Ball guy, the perfect turn 1 supporter for GhoULS. Gonna let him search out 3 balls, 3 cards with ball in the name. Have a myriad of those balls in the deck. Dive ball, Hisuian heavy ball, level ball, nest ball, quick ball. Looks like we're eyeing up a nest and a level at the moment.
Yeah, I'd imagine his targets ideally are going to want to be the Snom line, probably the whale and the
Sobble.
Sobble.
Yeah.
Sobble.
Set up a crazy turn 2 with that Irizu. You know, we all know it's one of our favorite cards. You know, Irizu in this deck, you get those 3 gentlemen out and you pop that Irizu, you go get your Drizzile, your Waylord, and your Frostmoth. And you enter the races, you know. Get Milotic on board also, and you know, you're able to do something twice that turn or elect to hold on to it for later. It's just real fast. I think GhoULS is likes to go the turn 2 whale in this deck.
Absolutely. I think if he can even get into the Basculin, I'm pretty sure he plays that. He can really just take this turn and bench out, and then something like an Irizu is going to just, you know, sorry Charlie, like the things are happening next turn.
Certainly. That Basculin is such a good Pokemon. I definitely favor that over the Hisuian, or not Hisuian, Alolan Vulpix and a lot of water builds.
Yeah, the Vulpix is good. It sees its own value, but I'm kind of with you. I like just putting the Pokemon on the board and not giving my opponent a chance to disrupt me. So that should be better. Yeah, the Basculin with a attach retreat to the Mana Feeder is going to put GhoULS in a really good spot.
Certainly. Spooky plays the Lazy Chops, is what the deck's named. Plays the Archeops, and I believe his ability shuts off your opponent's abilities, correct?
No, that's the Slacking is the one that shuts.
The Slacking, and then the Archeops,
is the one that's
energies from the deck.
Archeops Primal Turbo. Everyone knows it from Standard. I'm sure from the Lugia days. Gets to go fetch out 2 special energies and attach them. And you know, with things like triple acceleration energy running around in this deck, you can definitely splash a lot of energy into play really quickly with just 1 Primal Turbo even.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Slacking, if he is able to get that out, Parallel is really big here.
Jeez, right off the bench.
Feed for sure. Yeah, has to be the feed fast. He's valuing the draw a little bit more coming into the next turn. There's not a card like a vessel or a letter or a bucket in the discard pile that can really
And you got to think that with these choices that some part of the Inteleon line is prized, right? And it's probably the Drizzile, if we had to guess, because, you know, if it were the Sobble, you'd just go get it with the Hisuian Heavy Ball, unless you prized both of those. But I didn't quite catch, you know, all the options, but definitely something of that line probably prized from the looks of it.
Spooky with Peony here. This card in his hand has the Irregular to draw back up with. It looks like he's eyeing up Hoffman. Maybe he wants to get his Fossil down.
Yeah, possible.
I'm not sure if he plays TM Evo or not. I know he had to pitch a Vigoroth with that Peony to
no
kind
Evo
of
in the list. Floatstone and Hop's Choice Band are the 2 tools that we're looking at in this list, along with Artisan, Parallel, and Rose Tower for the stadiums.
Interesting. I mean, I would assume it'd be a Buddy Poppin plus something kind of angle.
Assuming heavy ball, something must be stuck in the prizes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Spook's got a little bit of a damage cap against something like the Whale 2. One thing I took of note, I was looking over his list, and I seen that the maximum amount of damage he can do is 220, and that would involve the Hot Blacks boosting its own power up to 170.
With the Hop's Choice Band and the powerful colorful energy.
Yeah, and the powerful would bring it up to 220. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
just 20 short.
Right, and still with pulling out everything from your arsenal, that's 20 short of the Whalelord. So if
exactly, and that's an ideal scenario, right? Like you have all three of those things.
Mm-hmm.
So you see the squirrel.
You do show his hand with up to 3. Mm-hmm.
Fantastic ability.
Even with the twin and the double colorless band, colorless still is able to do so much. See so many cards in one turn.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely a strong type to be playing.
Pass over to GHOULS.
Right. See what he can.
Our little city to set some of the support back up. Some of the main stars there are accounting for, though. Even in a Rizu, this turn would be pretty good from him.
Not a level ball.
Now. Oh no, level ball.
Yeah, not Laval ball, as ghoulies would call it.
I can grab the Octillery or the Frostmoth here.
Yeah, for sure. The Frostmoth super strong. Being able to, put some energies onto the Whalelord and then attach retreat with your Basculin.
Yeah, absolutely. And as we talked about, there's no Bax Caliber in here, so I think
definitely have to route some different ways.
Okay, he's going to be able to grab Ultra Ball,
3 more,
Dive Ball, Heavy Ball. So we're going to be able to thin the hand down, grab the Octillery, and we're going to be able to grab the Whalelord here. Discarding the Devo Spray. Don't hate that with the Sobble unaccounted for and the Feebas already in this card pile, but that's definitely a card that you would love to have around later.
Yeah, for sure.
Died in level, yeah, we're just going to get everybody involved here. So, Suedo or Rizu. It's really going to determine what happens with what cards he draws up to in his hand here.
Certainly. GHOULS plays, what's that, 2 stadiums?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Rough Seas and
the Artisan. No, not Artisan. Yeah, Brooklet.
Rough Seas hitting it down.
He had it.
That's a 0 card hand. GHOULS going to be able to draw 5 cards here.
Cool, man. That Octillery is so strong. A card up from all the way back in black and white. Still to this day, being
estimate of time, right?
Yeah, for sure. Just like Restaurant.
Yeah, that card came out when I was still in high school, for sure. Soon if he found what the attack that he would have just threw it down already. Looks like he's going to gather the crew.
Gather the crew a little bit more here, which is okay.
It's okay. Imagine grab the Sobble. Still, even
maybe the Wishy-Washy.
That and the Wishy-Washy, yeah.
Yeah,
a little bit of insurance, especially with the Frostmoth in play now.
Yeah, Wishy-Washy is so strong. Being able to go up and, swing for 130, which does KO a lot of things in the format right now, and being 180, I mean, obviously Snorlax can hit that in this matchup and a couple other things, but a huge number to be for a basic Pokemon, right? And the ability that it has scatter. At the end of your opponent's turn, if you have any damage counters on it, flip a coin, and if tails, it goes back into your deck with all the energies attached to it. So definitely really big. Like that's where GHOULS' 3 energy search will start to shine. We've seen he was able to ball guy twice, so like a lot of ways to get that back out if it does go back into the deck. Um, Super strong card in his deck. I think in all water decks.
The big thing with Spook in this list too is going to be kind of what he's seen from the first game. You're going to have to kind of win early with the damage cap being so low. You're going to have to deal with the Wheelor most likely twice. GHOULS' list is really meant to make you run through 2 of them because that's
sometimes 3.
He says, what you gonna do about the second one though? After I Dragonium see it, and yes, with stuff like Splash Energy and stuff, kind of safeguard lost zone plays and whatnot. Almost every single time that I've played GHOULS in this list, he's had 2 whales.
Yeah, for sure. Same. Like you said, and being able to for your opponent, making your opponent reach those high numbers if they have to 2-shot it, if they have to 4-shot it, or 2-shot it twice, you know what I mean? Just like attack into it twice or like 4 times and only taking 2 prizes. If GHOULS is able to, consistently just, take prizes once they initiate the prize trade, usually just wins.
Didn't look like a fantastic tournament sweep. He might have ciphered Maniac, correct me if I'm wrong, and attached Recycle to the Oranguru. And all 3 of his Pokemon on the bench are unevolved. I mean, I know this a little bit. You're probably not looking to evolve that.
Spooky does play the like the plume fossil and stuff like that. So with the Nestash, Squovit, just being able to put the Archon on the bottom of your deck and then plume fossil into it. That's good.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool combo.
Absolutely. So tool to the basculins, air quoted.
Capacious Bucket, searching up them.
Bucket's going to get him in there this turn. This is kind of what I was talking about too. You have to get into this Black Hang like early for it to be super impactful, because Schools' list just aims to do this really quickly.
Correct. And repetitively.
Absolutely. This one for one, it looks like
completely frozen on the camera. I don't know how or why that is going on, but try to fix that.
Who's that?
GHOULS' camera's frozen on the
my camera?
No, GHOULS, he said.
GHOULS.
Yeah. We he had attached the air balloon to the Basculin, retreated, came up with the Wailord, and attacked for knockout.
Yeah.
After a bucket for 2.
Yeah, correct.
Spook, looking like he's having a great time.
Yeah.
He did top deck the barrel. I'm pretty sure that's what he put on top, and so he'll be able to see the other card that he had.
Yeah, definitely strong. Knowing that your Oranguru is going to go down, and putting the barrel on top is definitely a real good play there.
Yeah, absolutely. See the Drizzle play from GHOULS too. So next turn he'll be able to target down whatever Spook kind of wants to prioritize here. Whatever he deems the threat, he's going to have access to something like a Dust and probably Lux Cape, or maybe even grab the other energy to to have for the wishy-washy, potentially, maybe even the Inteleon as an attacker here.
Yeah, I think, yeah, depending on how many prizes he can take, that Hops Cramorant hitting the bench is, probably going to be the attacker that he's going to go into. Very low maintenance. You can tag with it for free with the Hops Choice Band attached to it.
I
So
believe we are one prize card away from that, though. So
yeah, correct. No, I'm saying, starting up the Inteleon and getting that prepared is probably the route GhoULS would want to go.
yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
That way you can get the little chip damage in there. 2 attacks with Inteleon knock out the Squovit, correct? 40 HP on the Squovit or 50?
60.
60, okay.
60 on this a little bit. Really like to see a gust play of some sorts. Slacking kind of a threat. Not super scared of it. The slacking would actually not knock out the wishy-washy unless if it had the powerful energy on it, and it would make it so wishy-washy stays in play.
right.
But also the wishy-washy wouldn't knock it out in one hit.
Yeah, wouldn't be bad if that's what he is able to go up into. But it's got to deal with the whale first.
Right.
Absolutely.
And I don't see that happening anytime soon.
Yeah, this guy is usually a problem, and like Lee had pointed out, it is definitely a problem for this deck specifically.
Mm-hmm. Certainly. Let's see Gladion here.
Mm-hmm. Wish I checked GHOULS list a little bit more thoroughly. I do not remember. Does he play the Milo and Lana?
I've got you.
Yes, he does.
I've got
He does.
I've got GHOULS' whole list pulled up. Not this variant. I do not believe it is not in the. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, Milo and Lana. It's just not a full art. It's just not a full art list.
GHOULS is one of those guys that he submits and builds his deck list in the same rarity that he owns.
Yep.
So you'll definitely see a lot of mixed rarity in a lot of his CBW lists.
Mm-hmm.
Tell you I'm hitting the board. Shady dealings for 2 here.
Such a strong thing.
There it is. The
Yeah.
Milo and Lana.
Yeah, and that just says go ahead and get into your slacking. I don't care.
Yeah, Cramorant's gonna, hit for 120, 150. If you get the band, 180 if you got the Snorlax, 200 for powerful to just, have Wailord wiping the slate pretty much clean off of the Mount Lana has to feel really strong.
Yep.
You have the air balloon on the Feebas already. So GHOULS is going to be able to keep momentum rolling and worry about the other kind of guys later. For a different turn.
Yeah, for sure.
So looks like he's decided on the second trainer he wants from Shady Dealings here.
I'd up his discard.
Scoop up that to reduce the Inteleon potentially would be good. I wouldn't hate that.
I wouldn't even hate to see another energy search here.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. We have 4 counted for. That means there's 2 more in the list or in the deck potentially, assuming none of them are prized.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be a pretty high value investment here. I do agree with that. Because the one thing that could kind of like GHOULS is if his Frostmoth gets gusted on this Cramorant turn. Spooky is playing Boss and Guzma, so I mean there is 2 outs to dust here, and that could maybe make GHOULS' life a little bit more awkward for the second whale or powering up the wishy-washy if it's not addressed.
Yeah, I think GHOULS might be seeing that and electing to grab the scoop up net off of the Shady Dealings. So It just says, Gus trap me, or, whatever you want to do, as long as my hand isn't disrupted. I'm going to be able to shady dealings next turn and, get whatever I want.
Has the energy search in hand.
In hand. Yep.
Best of both worlds here. What a stack.
Yeah.
Teammates is a tough discard, but again, like Alan,
I don't see that being, I don't
relevant
see
anytime
that
soon.
being live
Right.
for a few turns.
Yeah.
Unless he does get the gust, and Colorless can see quite a bit of cards, but
when cards hit the discard pile too, it's not the end of the world. And Melodic, even though the Feebas is, in the discard pile, that possibly is not out of the realm of possibility in this game still. Something goes down if you repatch it. Looks like he elect to attach to the Inteleon instead of using something like a scoop up out there.
Yeah.
Blast. Now we're at 150. Potential damage for Hop's Pokemon.
And got the counter energy in hand, which is live right now. Which means he's a Hops band away. But again, we've already talked. That does not kill or knock out a Wailord.
I'm going to be honest too. It's got to feel real bad swinging for 150 into that, knowing that your opponent has Malon
loaded.
Right now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
So I think that you would want to. I mean, if that's what you got, then that's what you got.
That's what you got to do.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Just a decision to cash in as much as you can now, right?
It's 150 hitting the board there.
Yeah, so Wailord's going to have, assuming he rips to Malana here, 210 HP remaining.
A big fella, bigger than I think
notably though, there
stage
is
in the deck.
Spooky, if he does play Rhyhorn in the list, could do a Rhyhorn next turn. Oh, no Rhyhorn.
No Rhyhorn, no basic energies. Yeah.
That makes so much sense, right? Yeah, so like the play I was thinking was like a Hoffman plus like Rhyhorn powerful, but that's out of the equation here.
Are we going to see discarded off of Mallow and Lana? Got the Gladium. So that was one of the
Gladium back after the prize.
Mm-hmm. That's how it always is.
Heavy ball of him.
Yeah. So Suing heavy ball in. That's how it always is. We talk about that all the time when we test. You play Suing heavy ball. Turn 1, turn 2. When you take your first prize, it's usually going to be that.
Always. Every single time.
Drawn 2 here with Abysmal Hand.
Mm-hmm.
Just probably can retreat. Oh, see,
I like that.
The Inteleon, yeah, I like this. I like this.
Hold your resources and hold your big guy.
Mm-hmm.
For to be able to answer that slacking.
Yeah, and 160 is just out of Cramorant range. You'd have to find the band on this turn specifically, plus recovery. So maybe something like an Arvin, but that's a tall task and a lot to invest. And actually, a really smart play by GhoULS, because by saying that you have to do 160 this turn means that you're going to have to put a lot of your resources into killing the Inteleon that you would have to save to deal with that first Wailord. And
right.
I think that's a pro move right there.
Right.
Yeah, he's got the
and the splash. So even if the Inteleon goes down, going right back to the hand, he's just going to be able to cherry pick whatever he wants versus Seeker Live. Still, it's going to get kind of greasy coming down the stretch here.
Yeah, I agree. I do agree.
Slacking in play though.
I'll tell you guys this from I've done it a few times. And both times in my last back-to-back top 8, in certain best of threes when things are not looking good, kind of how it's going for Spooky. You kind of just got to tell yourself, like, okay, how much further am I going to allow this to go? With a 90-minute best of three, it's not never wrong to, just scoop it up here and, take it to the next one. You won the first game within, 4 or 5 minutes. Gives you a lot of time to play that third one. But it's okay. Is that one of the new Rocket supporters? I believe it is.
Is it the petrol? The petrol's in the list.
Yeah,
the petrol is in the list.
Shout out Spook seeing the vision, man. I picked up a Ford just like that at the LGS and then straight into my Silver Series water deck right now.
We love it. We love to see it. I believe you guys did a Silver Series video here today, right?
We did.
That could be up here soon.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the series is tied 1-1. Fantastic game too. Really grindy game. Logan had one prize. I had two prizes. Came out of like a snipe on a Lux Cape guy kind of angle, and it was a fantastic finish for sure.
Yeah, great game.
Yeah,
for sure.
Excited to see that game, those games, and get those sent over to Justice and see what he can do with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely makes for some cool stuff happening. I believe that's a double turbo on the Slacking, so I think that's just 140 on the Inteleon. Oh, that's
GHOULS identifying that, not a knockout. Yep.
Yeah. I'd imagine here it's just like an attached retreat angle or a retreat angle into the whale. I'm sorry.
Yeah, try to get back into the whale now that this Inteleon's done its job. Now you make your life, even that much easier to just be able to hit with another big guy and say, okay, here you go. There's a nearly fresh whale.
Absolutely, because I know GHOULS is going to want his abilities moving forward. Dealing with the Slacking at this hour having a way to deal with the Slacking at this hour rather has to feel really good.
For sure.
And the discard might be holding on something like Versus Seeker. We see the Melodic at the top of the discard pile too.
I am lifting up. It just feels, GHOULS is in a commanding spot here. He's able to just sit back and kind of, pull whatever strings he wants to. And
yeah, he really feels miles ahead at this point.
Yeah, man, I'm a big fire player at heart. If you know me, you know that. And man, I hate water. They're just able to do everything,
Yeah, water is
super
impressive.
Yeah, super cool to see.
And here comes the scoop up net.
Yeah, that's coming in hot.
Oh boy. Remember that last turn you just had? It didn't happen.
Getting to rebench the Sobble. Oh,
Vanessa. Oh yeah, he's gonna get the Milotic and the Feebass here.
Yeah, the Melodic really the start of the show.
And it may even come down instead of the Sobble.
But I'm not sure if he used it.
At this point, yeah, that's what I was wondering. At this point, it comes down even before the Sobble again, because at this point the key resources are in the discard pile, no longer in the deck.
Correct.
So
yeah,
absolutely. Even just getting to use it once. I mean, you have the scoop up and then the Devo spray counting for just getting to use that once for any one card is just super good to be able to close out a game with.
Yeah, like the Mallow and Lana again on this whale, it's going to be devastating, right? Like if Spooky is able to pull off any kind of attack this turn, then he's going to heal almost all of it.
Powerful accounted for the powerful energy. Under the discard pile? I don't think it is.
I don't think so.
But even with that, only being able to hit 200, you're still not knocking it out. With 30 damage on it, you're still 10 short.
Yeah, double turbo is accounted for. I know that. I don't think we've seen the hop.
We've seen the counter energy.
And counter also, yeah.
Early on the Cramorant.
Yeah.
But the Iono.
Pretty sure that Spook plays special charge, but yeah, it's a matter of.
Yeah, I think he already played that. I believe.
All these double energies being down in a primarily only special energy list is definitely not a place where you want to be.
Yeah, agreed. I said about 3 turns ago, if this was me, I'd have scooped it up and say I'm going second and I'm winning this next one. But, shout out to Spooky for sticking into it, playing to their outs, and,
Yeah, Spooky's not just gonna lay down. This is a playoff game,
Absolutely.
The stakes are high. I'm kind of with him. I don't ever scoop in like a competitive atmosphere. Like, even if you're not just have to show me that you have it.
Right, but as Spence pointed out, time is a little bit of the essence, right? So in a situation, yeah,
that's true. Yeah, that's very true.
We're roughly 35 minutes in to the 90 minutes. So still definitely a lot of time to finish a full last third game, but we want to guarantee that.
Counter coming down.
So counter must have been recycled off the special charge earlier.
Yeah, off the special charge, correct. Not see that.
No matter what cards he has, he would have been a little bit short. Yeah, pass. I'm cool, so I'm looking for dust here.
For sure.
Yeah. Yeah, let's chase this down that he's invested anything into.
Because that's the only thing that could take the Whale Lord down next turn. There's a world where you go powerful energy hop, and with that 30 already on him, that would be enough to knock him out.
Correct.
So I think that GHOULS has to play this turn with that in mind.
Yeah, with some powerful abilities going to be live this turn. The Milotic here, and then the Abyssal Hand coming shortly. The Hex Maniac. There we go. So you're not going to be able to knock me out, he says. We'll see if he plays it or if he holds it.
No, he definitely just played the. Yeah, he definitely just played the
Hex. Yep.
For sure.
Yep.
Yeah. Game 3.
All right. And
while they set back up, I'm going to take a quick break real quick. I'll be right back.
Oh, you're good. So 1 game apiece now. These two. Quick game 1 for Spooky if you're just now joining us, and GHOULS. A nice long win there.
Yeah, that was pretty. That one was pretty thorough. The first game, it was just an attached pass from GHOULS onto a Sobble, and Spooky found the Goose Mahala play into a Rotom Donk. That game, GHOULS was able to go second and ball guy. I believe he ball guyed like 2 times in a row to set up the likes of Frostmoth, Whaleward, and the Octillery, and kind of just got going before Spooky was able to establish the board much. I think by the time that GHOULS had the first whale powered up and attacking, Spook had Slack off the barrel and maybe Squirwit on the bench. So I think that he's going to have to set up a little bit more to give himself a fighting chance going into this game 3 for sure.
Yeah, definitely so.
And they got a lot of time for this game 3. So neither player Should feel rushed, be able to,
Oh, absolutely.
think out
Yeah,
all
this
their
is kind
plays.
of
Yeah,
reminiscent
be
of
real
your
comfortable.
top 8 game. I mean, you
Mhm.
guys finished your first 2 in 30, 35 minutes, and it's like, look, dude, I'm gonna not slow play, but I'm gonna take my time here and really
For
know
sure.
my outs and make the correct kind of plays, because this is where the lights are brightest. This
Mhm.
is a win or go home scenario.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and you
And
have
like,
50 minutes essentially for this last game, so plenty of time to,
Exactly.
even
Take that
any
time.
more time than a normal GLC match game.
Yeah,
100%.
exactly. Like 5, 10 more minutes, and then the average round. Absolutely.
Some look-ins on either side. We're just gonna shuffle them up, set up, and get it going.
Spooky will probably be going second. Don't see any reason
Yeah,
to
for
change
sure.
that. Not a great starter for him though.
Let's see. Game 1, GhoULS went first and wasn't able to get any other Pokemon down in the Sobble.
Yeah.
And, we'll see if he is able to, go in first, able to set up here. See the Ultra Ball coming down.
Hate to see a turn 1 Ultra Ball. It's going to cost a lot of, more than likely valuable resources that GhoULS does not want to be expending this early in the game.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. Ultra Ball's a card that you want hanging around turn 2 and 3, getting your Drizzile, getting your artillery thinning from that.
Gonna elect for an earthen vessel to get a deck check and kind of see what is prized and what isn't, to elect what's better to pitch off the Ultra Ball. But even then,
Whew.
still
Goodness, this
finish
hand
off.
was
Yeah, exactly.
perfect.
Did he just pitch
Not
in
looking
here?
for
Yeah,
anything.
yeah.
My
So there's no
goodness.
telling
Yeah.
what is in this hand.
Yeah, he's probably looking at nothing that he wants to discard it right now. So yeah, gonna take that time to gain some knowledge, count the energies. GhoULS is a control player. He's counting the colors, he's counting the energies, he's counting the evolution lines, his supporters, what outs he has, to continue to set up and get this game going.
Yeah, and a big decision to be made here off the Ultra Ball too, because notably Remoraid having 70 HP sitting in the active, that's just another fan rotom away from taking that away.
Right.
Absolutely.
So the clock is definitely ticking here. Also going to grab 2, still deliberating of what he's going to do with this Ultra Ball, presumably. Depending on what he has, he might even have to look at pitching 1. That might be why.
Yeah.
We'd love to do that. Oh my goodness. He has to have Versatility in his hand or something. Ball Guy and Irida. Wow. Like,
That's what I think. I think
talk
Versus
about a
Seeker's
turn
probably
2.
in hand.
Talk about a turn 1 going second hand.
Like I said, you can never control how those cards fall. So sometimes they hit in your favor, and as we say, sometimes you got to sell your soul just to play the game.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I know GhoULS plays the reversal energy here. So maybe there is a world where he's holding on a card like Teammates and saying, go right ahead, and I'll at least be able to respond next turn.
Absolutely.
With like a reversal energy and Wailord kind of thing.
And it could even be Raihan. GhoULS plays Raihan and reversal energy in the deck also. So it could just be a Raihan or Teammates away.
I mean, particularly Raihan, that'd be really good, because if you go, even if he's holding on to one of them pieces, that's a powerful from Spook to the Cramorant. That's not the best sign.
We already spoke about how strong that resource is for Spooky. with it, not being able to hit all the damage, but that extra 20 could just mean that he gets a 2-shot knockout even after GHOULS, Malos, and Llamas it, or something like that. So hate to see that come down this early, but sometimes you just got to do what you got to do, right?
Yeah, you might even be looking into like is this a Cypher Mania?
It's a Malo, yeah, correct.
I
There's
did.
a ton going on in Spook's hand here.
I did double check the list. That GHOULS is not playing the Rahan. So GHOULS not having access to the Rahan technology. Right on everything else. So reversal definitely live. Teammates live.
Mm-hmm.
Versus Seeker for Irida live.
Yeah.
Yeah, and depending on what else GHOULS have to has in his hand, he's probably kicking himself having to, scramble. I mean, rightfully so. You can't. Arvin, I was gonna say you can't just leave yourself open to, just getting donked off of the Rotom or whatever. You're gonna have to discard some of them. But yeah, we suspected that he had something else to play in his hand, right? Yeah. That's gonna be good. He's gonna be able to set up his board here. Another Gathered Crew having the air balloon to fall back onto.
Yeah, definitely, and getting the Feebas down also now. Just makes versus Seeker feel more safe and more strong. We love the Milotic in this deck. We named it after it, Milo Pump.
Yeah, that Milotic can grab that Irida and make some stuff shake next turn if he grabs something like the Frost or the Storm and the Sobble.
Yeah, and that's what you see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that Milotic is going to really pull some weight here.
Such a strong card, Milotic seen a lot of play in Water Control List. I know you played it in your Wug Trio deck.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite cards. I love getting cards back from the discard pile so much, and in fact that I play Silene in there too, and a bunch of other types of recursion from the discard pile. Definitely one of my favorite ways to play. I've always been that way, even with Drago's Top OG days. The discard pile is almost sometimes an extension of your hand when you play certain cards, and you just have direct access to them all the time. And it's really a really strong way to approach the game. When you cards multiple times, the same card multiple times in a singleton format, the redundancy, cards are good. When you use good cards more than once, good things happen.
Absolutely. I believe Milotic seen play in Leviathan, the deck Reader built as another way to, just recycle resources and that big boss style control archetype.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Milotic is seen played a few other places, but this is like a really premier way of showing it in an offensive deck. This is like all gas, no brakes, like to the fullest. Parallel
again on this parallel.
Wow, that's gonna be awkward.
Yeah,
I really think he wants to keep the feedback, so he might not be able to afford to. It's my opinion. It's the Remoraid and maybe so hard to say without knowing what's in hand. I'd speculate one of them has to be Remoraid though, because you already have some pretty important stuff in the discard pile. That would just be really tough though. Sobble.
We ain't getting shady next turn.
Yeah, I'd imagine it has to be like one of those two. He's debating if the Feebas is worth pitching or not right now.
Right. But at the same time, Saba would be really cool to keep here with the Drizzle next turn. We haven't seen an energy attachment yet on Spooky's side of the board. He's just a fan row time away from getting a knockout.
Yeah, absolutely. Is he about to pitch the snob?
I think so. That's what it looks like.
Definitely taking the time to decide. This is one of those reasons why the quicker first game and not too long of a second game comes up. You have the time to route your turns and figure out how you want to win the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Electing to go pitch the Snom and the Remoraid. Huge deal there for sure. I wonder what an ideal turn looks like here. It'd still just be attaching manually. Spooky's not doing a ton. But just really hate to see those things have to go.
Spooky's probably looking to get the fossil down or do something like that. Get an energy on the Rotom next turn. Oh wow, pass.
Milotic is in hand.
Yeah, Milotic in hand. We kind of assumed that, right? That Feebas was the other choice off the Buddy Poffin, so definitely was something that GHOULS was looking to prioritize heading into this next turn.
We see the strength of Parallel City.
Yeah,
it's a type of water with all these support Pokemon, and your cut corners in other parts of the list, and it kind of can make it tough for you to pop plays out of nowhere.
tying up that Irida. What are we thinking? Probably gonna go Drizzle and an item. Drizzle for a trainer, or some trainers. So strong. Water's got so many cool resources.
Super Rod. Looks like GHOULS might be looking for a field blower angle and then Super Rod the guys back into the deck. Or just like a stadium bump was kind of what I was thinking. And then then just gather the crew, them guys back out. I really like that
Absolutely.
play.
Yeah, nothing going on really on Spooky side last turn. I don't mind that either.
Yeah, absolutely. That kind of mitigates the damage for sure. I mean, you have to use Melodic to do that, but he had to really kind of extend himself to even play the game. So I really like that play.
Have to use Melodic and Drizzle, right, to make all that happen.
To make all that happen, correct? Yeah, but with cards like Scoop Up and Devo Spray, you can get some more mileage, out of the Milotic. We've seen last game that how good that Inteleon can be as an attacker once Cramorant is live. So you see the fossil.
Yeah, the Peony.
The Peony.
Getting into fossil and another one. You'd have to think it'd be like Evo Incense grabbing the barrel.
Right. Call this.
Still looking at Spook's board. I'm not sure exactly if he's gonna have to find like energy in an attacker to start building up.
Yeah, but again, I mean, we're on turn 3, turn 4, and we're just a fan row time away from come up and initiate the prize trade. And I would love to see that out of Spooky because we already talked about the prize denial that the Wailord presents to this colorless deck.
Yeah, you got to get him while you can.
For sure. Yeah.
Before that Wailord is evolved, that's when you have to pounce.
Absolutely.
See the incisors. See what we get here.
The full of 4 set of incisors on 5 cards. And again, just a pass. Wow. No energy drop there, Lee. You got no other attackers. Not a good
Yeah,
start.
GHOULS has bought the time that he needed, and this is his turn to really get ahead here. There are several cards that I would like to that would be really strong plays here. A card like Arizu could just go grab your Energy Excel engine, your draw engine, and your big attacker. Not super sure how many cards are in hand to utilize it with Octillery, but
I think 3, 4, something like that.
Yeah, it's gonna be a big opportunity for
even just to raise you to go get your Moth, your Inteleon, and your Whale, and say, okay, I'm also getting it. Well, here's Evolution Incense. This unlocks everything because this means Inteleon's about to fetch out 2 of whatever.
Yeah.
Depending
so
on what else
Inteleon,
you're looking
the
at.
play I'm looking for here is a letter or energy fetch of some sort and Arizu.
Yeah,
and then
I agree.
You can draw into 1 more energy, or have 1 in hand. Then you're going up with the Whale this turn.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, we know Earthen Vessel is down, but there are 2 other ways to search out 2 colors. Yeah, super big.
3
with
searches
this
to find 6 energy is pretty polarizing. Like, that's a very radical idea. I'm all about it. I'm a firm believer of this deck. I've only beaten it a handful of times, if I'm being honest. Like we're saying, like that second Wailord with the logic technology is just devastating, man. You can get all the good stuff back.
Yeah, I back to my EDC days and stuff like that. I had there's always this saying that went around is 2 is 1, 1 is none, and 3 is well, we should be all right.
Find a whale.
Did we just Evolution Incense for only the Octillery?
That's what it looks like. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Avery. So GHOULS not having access to the Inteleon is big here. To kind of cherry pick him a play like that. We had a manual attachment. We still haven't seen Frostmoth either.
Correct. Yeah, still a lot of resources live though.
Just a pass.
From GHOULS.
That's okay though. Got to be looking at some pretty strong supports for the next turn.
Absolutely. Yeah, the Abyssal Hand after the or before the Avery should have put him in a decent spot to have
now we see the Sloth Junior come down.
Where Candy Archeops potentially is live this turn too. So he can go from not having, anything going to having stuff going.
Finish, man. I know you and I are, known for piloting some big basic decks and stuff like that. But just saying a game where we're 4 turns in and prize trade is yet to be initiated. People are just kind of setting up. I know there has been some lack of energies drop on Spooky side, but definitely cool to see the battle of 2 mid-range decks.
Yeah, for sure. Both these decks definitely need a turn or two to set up.
Yeah.
Is evident with their support Pokemon.
But once they do, I mean,
Yeah,
some strong
absolutely.
things going on.
Yeah, we talk about it all the time. The
Artisan for the Snorlax.
mhm.
Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off, Lee.
No, you're good. I was going to say we talk about that all the time with the big basic decks. You know, we're really strong out the gate, but if you can kind of like step in our way and catch us overextending, like go through our first guy, you know, respond to it after we take a knockout, then we kind of stumble for a second. But once these decks get online, things happen every turn just based off like the abilities on the board, and that's a big strength that they have going for them.
Yeah,
for sure.
100%. That whole ideology has, leaned me into more TM energized plays and more, just even, with Drago Box, just getting into the Reshiram and, getting a couple colors into play. And we see the Arizu here.
Mm-hmm. I believe we've
Up
seen a
the
gift
mall.
energy attached to the Snorlax off of Spook's side to last turn. The Arizu just grabbing the Frostmoth is actually hilarious here, but a very valid play.
Yeah, 100%. If you got it, go get it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no doubt. Cape hitting the field onto the Wailord.
Goodness grief.
That's a big boy. 340 HP for the Wailord right now.
Yeah.
A third energy from Ice Dance. We need one more and retreat to see the whale attack this turn.
Yeah. But depending on how it gets routed, we could see the counter energy come down next turn and probably a Mallow and Lana, from GHOULS. And then if Spooky is able to get into the Hop Snorlax and get we do see the powerful energy. So I might just be talking outside of my neck, but, it still could just be a 2-shot on a 340 Wailord is what I'm getting at, and for 2 prizes. If GHOULS is only able to take 2 by then, it could just be, still a fair game. Everybody's in the race. So we'll
and
see.
notably too, GHOULS does not have the Inteleon, obviously, or else he would have grabbed it the turn before up with
Right.
would have grabbed it off of the Arizu. So we're not going to be able to see a Mallow and Mana play unless if he has it in his hands. So I do agree with kind of jumping the gun here. Could kind of bite him. Like a gust play might be like a better look. A reversal energy for turn attached to the vascularness.
For the retreat, we're just looking for one more energy, right? But doesn't look like we found it, or you just slam it.
Did not find it.
Yeah, no, did not find it. Got 5 cards there.
Mm-hmm.
That's rough. Okay, got a quick ball there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now that's the Sloth Junior, right?
Yeah, I believe that is Slackoff.
Okay.
Candy still unaccounted for from Spook. See a Rose Tower.
Course, yeah. Played the course tenacity, grabbing a Rose Tower, and assuming gonna just go for that double turbo, yeah, and then just come up with the Snorlax and initiate the prize trade.
I mean, if I'm GHOULS, I don't hate that though.
Agreed.
For one shot, the Snorlax, and that's the one thing on. I mean, sure, you start the prize trade, but you're gonna lose a lot of damage there. He played the boss and the Guzma. It's a tough thing to say, right? I don't know what's in hand. Looks like a Nestash. Was that?
Yeah, Nestash.
Still has a supporter for turn and the barrel. look like an Orangaroo for 2. Might be barrel.
Yep. No, you were right, Ringaroo.
Or Rose
Had
Tower.
to see.
Now a Rose Tower. Now a barrel.
Filling up the hand. I think
Draw
he's looking for a pivot tool. I'm assuming. Doesn't want to pitch that powerful energy. Playing the tag call and just gonna fail it.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. And then you wouldn't want to put like a retreat tool necessarily on it too,
Right.
because you're gonna want to save room for
For the band. This is
Yes.
true. Oof. Yeah.
You see the powerful leave the field, and it looks like
Yeah.
Spook is going to take this opportunity to do that. Notably, gift energy is almost more lapse, so Spook will be able to draw a couple cards after this.
Double tails.
And that's if GhoULS finds an. Well, you think that he's got to be thinking that he's gonna find one there with the push of the Whale Lord, but
Oh, for sure.
doesn't have access to one right now. We know that.
See the wishy-washy hit the board.
Like, he's in the tank, guys. There we go. Must have top deck for turn. Had to have been in the top deck.
Yeah. Had to.
It's always the next card, right?
Always.
See another couple.
X is devastating there.
Yeah.
Especially
Especially with no
Fantastic.
energies on the board.
Yeah.
Even if you rare candy and get into your Archeops, you're not responding next turn.
Yeah, especially with that being GhoULS' first prize that he takes.
Correct. Yeah.
The
Cramorant's not live. We have no
Exactly.
one energy attachments, no Kangaskhan in the deck. Yeah, that's what I said, man. Definitely wish that Spooky could have held on to that energy attachment and just pivoted out of it, because you're just behind another turn on energy attachment. So that means even if you attach here to another attacker, next turn, you're behind one, and
Order
Cramorant's
pad.
one. Yeah, order pad, tails. It's not even a real card.
Listen.
Oh, you
I
exchange Seaver,
respect
Cramomatic,
Spook for
man.
playing the order
Oh, I
pad,
do too.
guys.
No,
Don't
for
listen
sure.
to
Yeah,
that propaganda.
I'm play Cerberus. One of my fire decks that utilizes water energies with the Volcanion. Yesterday I was working on it with Plopel, and he just told me, said, seriously, Call Bell and Cramomatic. I said, don't they just go together like peanut butter and jelly? But I don't know, just a card that doesn't always hit and doesn't guarantee you being able to do stuff. We see
There is the Candy Archeops. Yep.
yeah,
Go no X though.
Yep.
yeah, can't do nothing with it.
Yep.
See the gift on the Cramorant. Right, just a pass, right? Rangaroo in the active.
I think it's the
Well,
miss on the
well,
Cramorant. Right.
Yeah.
Gift was
What's
on
that?
the Relax.
It's the peach colored one. I don't know what that is. Here, let me take a look.
Yeah, it's either mist or therapeutic.
Therapeutic. Oof. Yeah. Again, another rough energy drop.
And
It's
GhoULS,
tough.
here we go.
He's having to
Bucket
do a
for
lot.
2.
Yeah. Yeah, gonna get that wishy-washy here, that Drizzle powered up here.
Yeah, we'll see if he ended up getting the Inteleon off the prizes. I would imagine, even if you did, you kind of just hold it.
Yeah.
No real urgency to get any additional resources right now, and you don't want to extend that too early if you don't have to. So, thinking about a turn down the line where you may want to use it to go get your Mallow and Lana. Guzma.
Oh my goodness. Guzma, the Archeops here is huge.
Yep.
The flowstone for the auxiliary finds his retreat.
Yep.
Still has a pistol hand to work with, I believe, 2 after the hand fitting with the bucket and ice.
The one turn you had the Archeops up, It could not use its
They
abilities.
couldn't do nothing.
Then you Guzma it up and KO it. Yep.
Yeah.
Sounds
Such a
about right.
smart sequence of turns there for
Yeah.
GHOULS.
For sure.
Shout out Ghoulies with the Wizards of the Coast promo water energies.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. It is Cramorant hours now.
And that is the mist
It
energy
is.
that's on there.
You gotta wonder
Okay.
if the Ghouls didn't grab the Inteleon out of the prizes, how realistic it's gonna be for him to pull off a battle in Mana this next turn.
Yeah.
Who just flashed the boss? I don't think he wants to do that though. I think you want to hit into the Wailord here, IMO, because he doesn't have access to the Drizzile with Inteleon. Well, just gonna boss it instead.
Yeah.
Yeah, just gonna boss it up instead, right?
I don't hate that because you force him to have to recover it then.
Yeah, but
on
at
the
the
turn
turn,
where he's swinging with the Wailord potentially. So maybe if GHOULS doesn't find the splash energy, because we know reversal is down from the Basculin attach earlier, then he might have to come back up with Wailord the next turn.
yeah. I don't know. Knowing Ghouls plays like Devo Spray and Scoop Up Net and stuff like that, taking the Drizzile here and putting it in the discard pile. Kind of just makes those cards more dedicated to the Milotic. Because at any point, he could just Devo Spray that Drizzile, right? And then just like, okay, next turn, I'm gonna go get another thing. But being able to hold those cards now and just use them later on in the game on the Milotic to recycle resources when you have to respond is kind of make goals feel good.
Yeah, we just seen a big whiff on the Plume Fossil there. That could have been huge for Spook to get back into the game, knowing that we've seen the rare candy on the Fossil and 2 Archeops. He could have just got the Arching into play if he did that right there.
Right, yeah.
So that was definitely a big miss.
Yeah. Spooky does play the I don't know, did we see a supporter for turn? I was over here yapping.
Boss. Yep.
Boss, yeah.
It was boss on the
The
Drizzile.
boss,
Boss on the Drizzile.
So yeah, no way to stack the deck at that point with
Right.
the Cypher, the Mallow.
Mm-hmm.
Such a strong play though. I mean, with the Squovit and everything like that, just being able to put it all together. Teammates here.
What kind of cards would you guys be looking for here? I think me personally, I'd be looking for like a Malolana and
Yeah, you probably. I agree. Yeah, probably something in that combination for sure. You definitely, I think, after having lost the Drizzile.
Yeah, I think you kind of grab what you would have Shady Greens for preemptively with the teammates. Right. I think that'd be like the play.
100%. Yeah, but a little bit stronger because it can be any card, and your opponent doesn't know.
Absolutely. No damage on the whale means that it is out of range for at least one more turn, regardless of Spook. Cramorant recycles it or not.
Correct. Yeah, but leaving that Wailord, you can gust around it all day long. So yeah, Devo Spray the Milo too. You can you can gust around that Wailord all day long, but if you don't answer it, GHOULS was able to take the first prize, and so if you don't answer the Wailord, he's just going to come back up and hit you for 210 damage every turn.
Well, at some point, Ghoulies is going to want to, in my opinion, try to remove, one of these Pokemon from play just in general with, say, a Scoop Up Net later to just say, okay, you're not going to have the option to go around every single one. You're gonna have to go through this well eventually.
Right.
Okay, nice stretcher there from
Solid
Stobble.
side.
So go ahead and keep benching though.
I'll put this in. It looks like just coming in and trucking with the whale here. Cooley's going down 3 prizes.
Yeah, we've been all over the prize count tonight without losing the camera too, so it's been very successful.
Nice.
Sweet. Love to see the technological advancements.
Learning daily, as I say.
That's part of what we're all about, though. As a team, is growing and together, and been super cool. This journey with all of us, making content and playing and going to IRL events. GHOULS has NAIC tomorrow, so super exciting to cheer him on from afar.
Absolutely. He was flashed a rescue carrier or rescue structure there. Wonder if it's going to be just for the Kramer. Imagine that would feel a little underwhelming, but if that's what you have to get it back without another search, I think that's okay.
You see the band be dropped immediately though before the next stash, so
Yeah, the
we
Hoffman
can find
is
out.
on the field, so that's bringing it to 150, 180
Right.
with an attachment per turn still potentially.
Mhm.
And here's a question. Do you guys think that, because GHOULS played both these cards after the teammates, he's a smart player though, so this is how I would expect him to play. You don't think that the 2 cards that he grabbed were Devolution Spray and Not Stretcher, do you? Because he played those
I
cards.
think he grabbed something
Yeah,
for next
for
turn.
sure. Knew that he
Yeah.
was going to play the teammates and knew that he wanted to have something for next turn, so hold your items and play them after you play the teammates to make it ambiguous as to what you got.
Right.
Maybe I
For
did
sure.
go get those 2 cards and just played them.
And maybe I didn't.
Yep.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a step above.
Reminds me of things like
It's a pass.
Avery and the Silent
It's a
Lab.
pass there, huh? Yeah.
My logic for the Guzma.
Good grief.
You can actually just ignore the Kramer.
The Kramer, yeah,
Right.
just attack the Hop Snorlax. See the
Evo
Evo
Soda.
Soda. Gonna get the Drizzy, right? No, Drizzle's
still in the discard. Yeah.
Correct. Kind of just thin in the hand. You got the target on the field, so.
Guzma up the thing that's going to do the most damage to me.
For
Please.
sure.
Yeah, it's super tough. They need some more.
Turning out some cards.
Ball guy.
What do you think GHOULS is looking for here?
Just one.
I'm not sure that he's looking for anything necessarily, more so just making sure that if he were to get Ionode or End at this point, that he does not see these cards.
Smaller deck, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Pretty gross play.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
That Milotic is just, in an offensive style deck, just being able to recycle your resources, even more so in a singleton format. So strong.
Yeah, you can go grab that Guzma, with Versus Seeker, with Milotic, scoop up Metamologic, use it again. You can use some of these supporters 3-4 times if you want to.
Yeah, Stash. Spooky's in the deep end right now, guys. You can tell.
Yeah, no, I think that this is with the Cram being rendered useless, I think this is just game. few prizes left for GHOULS. This is going to be too much to
fail
overcome.
it. Just Rose Tower for the
Rose Tower, draw a couple cards.
Can't tell what that card is. It's a little glary. The fan
Rotom.
Fan Rotom. Yeah. You'd hate to see a manual retreat here, right?
With the counter, I don't even know what the pre-ball does. Puts them asleep, it looks like. That is tails.
Yeah.
So the whale is asleep. Talk about that balls pulling through and buying you a turn here or there.
Yeah, Malon just
right on cue.
What a sack of potatoes.
Yeah, just being able to play the Malilana without the discard there is really strong. Goalie still down to one prize remaining. Yeah. Very weird start to game 3 here. You know, GHOULS have to discard stuff like Irida. Yeah, discard stuff like Ball Guy. Just to get one Pokemon down to avoid kind of the thing that happened to him game 1. And from Shook, we seemed like attached to the Cram and like not much after that. It took a minute for them to get going. And I think if you give both decks the same amount of time to set up, I think Water is going to outpace you every single time just because there's no avenue to two-shot the Wailord.
Right.
I think that's the unfortunate reality here for Spooky tonight.
Absolutely. It happens.
Yeah, it's not like a player thing. It's none of that. Kudos to Spooky for
making it here.
Yeah, absolutely. Colorless, everybody's writing it off. You know, Archeops, everybody's writing it off. I think that having the persistence and just willingness to still take these competitive games head on and
Rough seas to heal the damage off just so he can have a clean board.
Yeah.
And that'll do it.
Good handshake from both opponents, and absolutely. Hats off to Spooky for playing that out, and a lot of things that they were forced to do that game just to play the game were unoptimal, and sometimes it just you got to do that. We talked about that. With even your stream game at Full Grip, right? Like sometimes you just have to literally sell your soul just to play the game, and that's just the way the cards fall.
Yeah, absolutely. Some really tough breaks from Spooky there. Notably, the Hex still finding the Archeops rare candy, but getting Gooseman the next turn. That's really tough to deal with, and with that being the only energy accelerator, like we were talking about, no Rhyhorn. The limitations on the doubles now. The deck does look a little different, even with the hot package. Cram rendered useless the game 3 there. And then the other dust on the hot blacks, that was just a masterclass from GHOULS, and just not really much you can do about it when you give that amount of time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
You gave Water 4 turns to set up and find that Arizu and gather the crew, in between that time. They can just do it all.
Attachments before even Frostmoth and stuff like that. Every little bit adds up.
For sure. Yeah. Didn't even see Inteleon that game, right?
No, not at all. Game 3.
Pretty sure it was prize for the most of the game. TBH, probably deep.
Right.
But I know that if you guys are anything like me, we are very excited and very happy for GHOULS to have won his playoff match as well. So we've got Spence and GHOULS both having, won, so they're going to be advancing. Lee's going to be playing tomorrow. We're going to be covering that as well. It'll be tomorrow evening sometime around, 5:30. we'll keep you guys in the loop. But I'll put a stream up as soon as we know exactly what time. I think that we are probably going to try to get out of here tonight and go talk to GHOULS just a little bit before his NAIC run tomorrow. Just chat with him, make sure he's in the cool headspace. So we're very appreciative for everyone hanging out again tonight. Guys, what do you got? You got anything else to say before taking a leave?
I mean, just another strong showing from TBS. Game 3 scenario. All chips are on the table. I'm just happy to be a part of this. It's been a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely cool to see the guys come out. I did have some mail come in, and I don't think I told you guys about this, but I ordered something for all three of you guys. I play the silver border Japanese Drudigan and my Drago box deck.
Nice.
So I picked up one of these for you, GHOULS, and Lee. I'm gonna get these sets signed up and sent over to Goobers.
Nice.
What a guy.
I showed those big on the screen just then, so very appreciative. Very, very
Absolutely.
happy to have you guys as teammates. So.
Yeah, I love that. Appreciate you, brother.
Absolutely. And one more thing. Shout out to GHOULS tomorrow. We already know who's going to win the Switch too. You guys just better show up and be prepared to get blockaded for 0 damage.
Yeah, no coming in hot. I'm super excited for my guy. I know he's been itching to play. It's tournament IRL. We've been up to full grip. We've had our fun. Just talking to GHOULS. He was mentioning about he just can't wait to get his hands on somebody's discard pile. And just digging methodically through it. Seeing what resources they have down and whatnot. I just see it now and it makes me smile. Like I love the boy.
Absolutely.
I'm so happy for him. And best of luck to him, man. Shout out to GHOULS.
For sure.
Well,
all right.
Sounds awesome. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Like I said, just stay tuned to the channel. Have a wonderful night, and thanks for hanging out.
Later.